Ryan's first breath on the strange shore felt heavy, as if the air carried the memory of storms. He pushed himself up from the cool sand, his vision still blurred from the wormhole jump that had thrown his ship across unknown space. The sky above him stretched in soft bands of silver and violet, moving slowly like quiet waves. For a moment he wondered if he was still dreaming, but the cold water touching his boots told him he was awake in a real place. He looked around and saw no sign of his ship. The last thing he remembered was a bright flash and the sharp turn of gravity, before everything went dark. Now he stood alone on a wide coast with gentle hills in the distance and strange crystal growths rising from the ground like frozen fireworks. Each crystal shimmered with soft light, pulsing as if alive. Ryan touched one and felt a warm vibration move across his fingers. The sensation made him step back in surprise. His moment of quiet ended when he noticed movement on the hill above him. Several tall figures walked down the slope with steady steps. Their skin carried a soft blue shine and their clothes looked woven from threads of light. Each held a long staff with a glowing ring at the end. Their faces showed calm focus, not anger, but Ryan felt his pulse rise. He raised his hand slowly to show he meant no harm. The group stopped a few steps away. One of them spoke in a smooth tone that reminded Ryan of distant wind. He did not understand a single word. He tried to answer, choosing slow and simple English. The leader listened, tilted his head slightly, then tapped the ground with the staff. A ring of gentle light rose around Ryan, sending a warm wave through his ears. After a moment, the leader spoke again, and this time the sound shifted into a clear voice Ryan could understand. "You arrived from the sky. State your name." Ryan blinked. The translation was not perfect, but it worked. "My name is Ryan. My ship was damaged. I think I fell through a broken path in space. I do not know where I am." The leader stepped closer with careful eyes. "This world is Naira. We have not seen your kind in a long time. You will come with us. Our princess will decide what must be done." Ryan nodded. Right now he had no map, no tools, and no clear direction. Trusting these people was his only option. The group formed a circle around him, not as prisoners but as escorts. They walked through the hills toward a bright city in the distance. As they approached, the true shape of the city revealed itself. Tall towers of crystal rose like growing stars, connected by bridges that curved through the air. Light flowed through the towers as if the buildings held their own small suns. The sight filled Ryan with a quiet awe that eased his fear. Whatever these people were, they were builders, not destroyers. When they entered the city, the people stopped to look at Ryan. Their eyes held curiosity instead of fear. Children pointed at him with excited whispers. Several adults touched their hands to their hearts, a gesture that seemed respectful. Ryan returned the gesture awkwardly, hoping it meant something kind. The guards led him to a wide hall where a group of advisors waited. At the very center stood a young woman with a steady, thoughtful presence. She wore a crown shaped from folded silver crystals, and her deep blue eyes held a calm brightness. The guards bowed. "Princess Lyra," the leader said. "We found this human on the shore. He survived a fall from the sky." Lyra stepped forward with soft steps. She studied Ryan with careful interest. "A human. Our records speak of them. They were brave, loud, and full of energy. It has been many generations since one came here." Ryan stood straight and tried to keep his voice steady. "I did not mean to arrive here without warning. I lost control of my ship. I am thankful your people brought me safely to your city." Lyra watched him quietly, and her silence felt like a long measuring breath. She was not judging him with suspicion. She was reading him like a puzzle piece that had fallen from a different box. Finally she spoke. "You speak with respect. That is good. Our world values truth and clear words. If you mean no harm, you are welcome to rest here until we understand more." Ryan gave a small, grateful nod. "Thank you. I will not cause trouble." Lyra turned to her advisors. "Prepare a guest chamber for him, and send a message to the Knowledge Hall. The old records may help us understand his arrival." As the guards guided him out of the hall, Ryan felt the weight of the day settle on his shoulders. He had no idea how far away Earth was. He did not know if anyone even knew he was alive, but at least he was not trapped in some dark wreckage. He was among people who seemed calm and thoughtful, and that gave him a spark of hope. The guest chamber they gave him was simple, but peaceful. The walls glowed with soft blue light. A bed made of woven crystal threads felt surprisingly warm. While he rested, he watched the city through the window. People walked calmly along the bridges, their steps carrying a sense of purpose. Light moved through the towers like gentle rivers. Later that evening, Lyra herself came to visit him. Her presence filled the room with quiet dignity. She sat across from him and folded her hands. "I wish to ask questions," she said. "Your kind is rare, and rare things bring both danger and learning." Ryan smiled lightly. "I will answer what I can." She began with simple questions. What humans ate, how they learned, how they traveled. Ryan answered in basic words, explaining life on Earth without making it sound wild or chaotic. Lyra listened closely, her eyes narrowing when something confused her and softening when she understood. Then she asked, "Why do humans fight so much in your stories?" "Do you not fear loss?" Ryan thought carefully before replying. "Humans fight because they hope for better days. They rise again because they believe they can change things. It is not simple, but it is part of us." Lyra absorbed his words in silence. To her people, honesty was a treasure. To hear someone speak openly about struggle was unusual. She stood and gave a small bow. "You may rest now. Tomorrow we will learn more." Ryan watched her leave, feeling both exhausted and strangely encouraged. His journey had brought him to an unknown world, but the door to understanding had begun to open. And somewhere deep in the quiet towers of Naira, destiny waited for him like a soft light ready to grow. The spaceship floated silently above the violet clouds of Xylan Prime. The view from the observation deck was breathtaking. Light shimmered across the alien landscape, making the forests look like oceans of glass. Cale stood by the window, his hands clenched tightly. He had never imagined a world so beautiful. But beauty was not the only thing that troubled him now. He could still feel the weight of the words he had spoken to the princess. The princess, Liana, stood across the room, her silver eyes wide with surprise. Cale had told her, "You are so beautiful I can't speak." And the words hung between them. Liana had never heard a human speak so honestly. Her own world valued diplomacy and careful speech. No one had ever admitted something so personal before. Cale cleared his throat and tried to continue. I did not mean to offend you. He stopped. How could he explain a feeling that was strange even to him? On Xylan Prime, beauty was admired, but it was rarely discussed openly. And humans, with their emotions and impulsive words, were even stranger to her people. Liana stepped closer, her hands folded in front of her. "Cale," she said softly, "you speak differently than anyone I have ever met. Your words carry weight. You do not fear truth, that is unusual." Cale swallowed hard. He had never considered his way of speaking unusual. On Earth, people often spoke without thinking. But here, among the stars, every word could be dangerous or misunderstood. And yet, when he looked at her, he could not lie. He could not pretend. "I did not want to frighten you," he said finally. "I only wanted you to know what I feel. I have never met anyone like you." Liana's expression softened. She tilted her head and studied him carefully. "Feelings are complicated," she said. "Your honesty is a gift. But you must understand, I am not like humans. I see the universe differently. Your words are heavy with meaning I do not fully grasp." Cale nodded. He wanted to ask her more about her world, about her people, about everything. But he sensed that rushing would push her away. Instead, he chose silence. He watched her, learning to understand her in quiet observation. The hum of the ship filled the silence. Outside, the landscape shifted, revealing a valley of crystal towers. Liana walked to the window, her reflection glowing in the glass. "You humans are strange," she said with a faint smile. "You feel so much, yet you act so fearfully. You speak without care, yet your words carry meaning that can shape entire lives." Kyle smiled back. "Maybe that is the point. Maybe our words are meant to connect even if they scare us." She looked at him then, eyes narrowing slightly. "Perhaps. Or perhaps they are meant to test patience, to see if others can understand beyond the words themselves." Kyle felt a strange warmth in his chest. She was thinking deeply, analyzing him and his emotions, and yet she did not dismiss him. That small acceptance was more than he had hoped for. Suddenly, the ship shuddered. Alarms blinked on the control panels, and a deep rumble shook the deck. Cale grabbed the railing to steady himself. Liana's expression turned serious. "Report," she commanded. Her voice carried authority, but there was tension beneath it. The ship's pilot, a small android named Vix, appeared from the control room. "Sensors detect an unidentified vessel approaching rapidly. It is not broadcasting identification. Unknown technology signature. Kale frowned. Could it be a pirate or an enemy fleet? Liana shook her head. This technology is unlike anything in our records. It may be intelligence from another galaxy. We must prepare, but we cannot assume hostility yet. The ship's lights dimmed as energy shields activated. Kale felt his heart race. This was real danger, not just words or feelings. Yet in that moment he felt the strange pull of fate. He and Liana were tied together in ways he did not understand, and this threat could change everything. Liana turned to him. Kale, you must trust me. We will face this together. I need you to remain calm. Your presence helps stabilize the crew. Kyle nodded. I will do my best. He did not mention that inside he felt both fear and excitement. He had never been part of something so significant. And yet being close to her made everything else feel secondary. The approaching vessel grew larger on the sensors. Its shape was alien, jagged, almost organic. The crew murmured anxiously. Kale stepped closer to Liana. What is it? He asked. Liana studied the readings. It is a scout, I think. Perhaps a probe, but it may be testing our defenses. We must prepare for the possibility of engagement. Kale's fingers tightened on the railing. He had trained for emergencies, but nothing could prepare him for facing an unknown civilization in real space. And yet looking at Liana, he felt a strange courage. Stay close, she said. If we survive this, you must promise me something. Kyle's brow furrowed. Anything. Do not hold back your words again. Humans speak truth even when afraid. Do not hide your feelings. They are your strength. Kale smiled faintly. I promise. The alien vessel came closer. Its massive hull glinted with strange energy. The crew readied their systems. Kale felt the weight of his human instincts and the calm logic of Liana's leadership. He realized then that connection was as important as technology. Courage and honesty could shape outcomes, just as much as weapons or shields. As the unknown ship hovered nearby, Liana and Kale exchanged a glance. There was fear, yes, but also trust. They would face this together, not as human and alien, but as allies, as companions who had begun to understand each other in the quiet moments between danger and honesty. The first contact was about to happen, and neither of them knew what would come. But Kale understood one thing clearly: truth, bravery, and connection could guide them through even the darkest void of space. And for the first time, he felt that speaking his heart despite fear was not a weakness. It was the start of something far greater than either of them could have imagined. The alien scout floated silently, its jagged hull glowing with strange light. The crew of Kale's ship held their positions, every eye fixed on the monitor. Kale stood next to Liana, his hand brushing hers by accident. Neither withdrew. The brief contact was grounding. He drew strength from her calm presence. Liana studied the incoming vessel. They are observing us carefully, she said. This is a first contact situation. Any sudden move could be seen as hostile. We must proceed with caution, Kale nodded. What should we do? Wait, she replied. Do not act unless provoked. Let them speak first if they can. The ship's sensors detected energy pulses emanating from the scout. The signals were not hostile, but they were clearly intentional. The crew murmured nervously. Kale clenched his fists. His heart raced. Humans often jumped into action, but here patience was key. Liana's people valued strategy and observation above all else. Suddenly, a small holographic projection appeared above the scout. A figure materialized, tall and shimmering with light. It had multiple limbs and eyes that glowed like stars. Kale swallowed. He had expected aliens, but this presence was unlike anything he had imagined. Liana stepped forward. I am Liana of Xylon Prime. Who are you? The figure's voice resonated in the room, not through sound, but through thought. Kale felt the words echoing in his mind. I am Orcs, envoy of the Zilari. We observe. We do not harm unless provoked. Kale felt a chill. Thought communication was something humans rarely encountered. It was invasive yet fascinating. Liana responded with steady confidence. We welcome observation. We mean no harm. Orith's form pulsed with energy. Your honesty is unusual, Liana. And you, human, carry emotions that ripple beyond your control. Your words are powerful. Kale's face burned. Did Orith mean him? The idea that his feelings could be noticed across space was terrifying and exhilarating. Liana placed a hand on his arm. Kyle, do not fear. They do not wish to harm. They recognize our integrity. Kyle nodded, still uneasy. I never thought my words could reach someone like that. Across space without sound. Liana smiled faintly. Words are not always spoken aloud. Truth travels even in silence. You speak with your heart and it shows. The holographic figure moved closer. We will allow closer inspection. But one misstep could trigger defense protocols. Liana gestured for Kale to follow her. Together they entered the ship's shuttle bay. The scout mirrored their movement and a path opened through the shimmering light. Kale marveled at the delicate structure of the alien vessel. It seemed alive, flowing with energy like a river of stars. As they approached, Kyle felt a mix of fear and awe. Do you think it is safe? He whispered. Liana glanced at him. It is always a choice. Fear can guide you or hold you back. Trust is what matters now. Kale took a deep breath. He focused on her eyes, silver and calm, and nodded. Together they stepped onto the scout's platform. The energy beneath their feet hummed softly. Kale felt it through his body like standing in a gentle current. Orith's form shifted. You humans are fragile yet resilient. The bond between you is unusual. It may serve your species well. Kale blinked. You can see that? Yes, Orith replied. Emotions are visible. Connections are measured in energy patterns. Liana placed her hand over Kale's without hesitation. The contact felt grounding. You have strength in unity. The voice continued. This is rare in your species. Kyle's chest swelled with pride. He had always felt like humans were weaker, limited by their emotions. But Orith's observation suggested otherwise. There was power in honesty and bravery and connection. Then the scout shuddered slightly. Sensors indicated a disturbance in the outer atmosphere. Orith's voice pulsed urgently. Danger approaches. A storm of energy from the nebula is moving faster than predicted. You must leave soon. Liana's eyes narrowed. We can navigate it if we act quickly. Kale, I need you to assist with the shield calculations. Kale's hands flew over the controls. Liana guided him, her voice calm, precise. He followed her instructions exactly. The ship's shields glowed brighter, absorbing the initial energy pulse from the nebula storm. Orith's form shimmered. Your cooperation strengthens you. This is a lesson your species should remember. Kale glanced at Liana, admiration shining in his eyes. You make it look so easy, he said. She smiled. Experience matters, and you are learning quickly. Do not doubt yourself. The storm hit harder, a wave of energy rocking the ship. Kale and Liana held steady, their coordination perfect. The crew looked to them for guidance. Kale realized that fear could be conquered with focus and courage could be shared. Minutes felt like hours, but finally the ship emerged from the worst of the storm. Alarms ceased and the lights returned to normal. Kale exhaled deeply. Liana placed her hand on his shoulder, a gesture of reassurance and pride. Orith's form appeared again. You have survived. Your connection allowed for this outcome. Humans may yet become allies among the stars if you continue to honor truth and unity. Kale smiled, feeling a warmth he had never known. The words meant more than survival, they meant recognition. He had felt powerless before, unsure of his place among the stars. Now he understood that his honesty, his courage, and his connection to Liana mattered. Liana stepped closer. Kale, you did well. You trusted yourself, and that trust saved us. Never forget it, Kale looked into her eyes. I will not. I want to keep learning with you. Liana's silver gaze softened. Then we will face the universe together. There is much to see, much to understand, and perhaps we will find others who can join us in this truth. Kale felt hope blooming inside him. This was more than adventure. It was a chance to grow, to explore, to connect. And with Liana by his side, he knew that nothing would feel impossible. The alien scout faded into the distance, leaving behind a trail of glowing energy. Kale and Liana returned to their ship, the bond between them stronger than ever. Together they would navigate the unknown, face dangers, and prove that humanity could shine brightly, even among the stars, and in the quiet moments, when the universe seemed endless and vast. Kyle would remember his first words to Liana, and the way honesty had opened the door to everything that was to come. The stars stretched endlessly around Kale's ship as it traveled deeper into the uncharted region of space. The nebula storm had passed, leaving trails of colored gas that glowed like fire in the darkness. Kale stood at the observation deck watching the display, but his mind was partly on Liana. She had been calm, focused, and strong during the storm. He admired her more than ever. Liana joined him silently, her presence grounding him. Are you well? she asked, her voice soft yet firm. Kyle nodded. I am. That storm was intense. I've never felt energy like that before, but we survived thanks to you. She shook her head. We survived because of teamwork. Your courage mattered too. Do not forget that, Kyle smiled faintly. He realized that courage was not only facing danger but also trusting others and trusting oneself. I will remember, he said. Suddenly the ship's sensors beeped urgently. A new signal appeared, unlike the previous scout. It was massive and moving fast. Liana's expression changed instantly. This is not a natural phenomenon. It is a vessel, larger than anything we have seen. Kyle felt a surge of adrenaline. Could it be hostile? Liana studied the readings. It is unknown, but we must be ready for anything. Prepare the crew and shields. I will attempt communication. The ship trembled slightly as the massive vessel came into view. Its surface was dark, jagged, and covered in glowing lines of energy. It radiated power, and Kale felt a strange unease. The unknown could be dangerous, but he also felt excitement. Humanity had never faced this before, and he would be part of it. Liana activated the communication system. This is Liana of Xylan Prime. We come in peace. Identify yourself, the vessel paused. A voice echoed in the ship, not in sound, but through thought like Orith's messages. I am Korath of the Zinari Collective. You enter territory that tests your species. Speak carefully, human and alien alike. Kale swallowed. The voice was powerful, commanding, yet curious. We mean no harm, Liana responded. We only wish to explore and learn. Curiosity is rare among intruders, Korath replied. Your honesty will determine if you survive this encounter. Kale looked at Liana. Her eyes reflected determination. Honesty? He asked quietly. Liana nodded. Yes, they will measure intent, courage, and truth. We cannot hide anything. Kale took a deep breath. He had been honest with Liana, and that had strengthened their bond. Now honesty might save their lives. I understand, he said. I will speak truth. Korath's energy shifted. Very well. You may approach, but one false action and your vessel will be destroyed. Liana nodded. Understood. Kale, help me navigate closer. We need to show them our capabilities and our trust. Kale followed her instructions carefully. Together they maneuvered the ship closer to the massive vessel. The Zinari Collective's energy pulsed around them like a living web. Kale felt it brush against him, a strange pressure that tested his focus. The Zinari vessel opened a passage, allowing a smaller craft to emerge. It moved gracefully, and Kale could see figures inside, tall and luminous like Orith, but with more defined shapes. The ship docked gently beside them. Liana and Kale prepared to board. The crew watched anxiously. Kale felt a mix of fear and anticipation. He glanced at Liana. We can do this, she said simply. Her calm resolve gave him strength. They stepped onto the Zinari craft. Energy flowed beneath their feet, humming softly. The interior was alive, shifting and glowing. Kale marveled at the design. Everything was elegant, powerful, and unfamiliar. A figure approached them. Korath stepped forward, its form radiating authority. You have reached this point through honesty and courage. Few species survive such tests. Liana bowed slightly. We are grateful for this opportunity. We seek knowledge and cooperation. Kale added. We come with respect. Humans are learning, and we wish to grow alongside others in the universe. Korath's energy pulsed as if studying them. Your words are consistent with your actions. That is rare, but true understanding is measured by deeds, not speech. You must show your ingenuity. Liana turned to Kale. This is our chance. They will test our minds, our problem-solving, and our courage. Are you ready? Kyle clenched his fists. Yes, I want to prove we can rise to this challenge, together. Korath extended one of its arms. A holographic projection appeared between them, displaying a complex structure, rotating and shifting. Rebuild this system. Show creativity and logic. Your success determines your acceptance among the stars. Kyle stared at the projection. It was intricate, with interlocking energy patterns that seemed impossible. Liana studied it calmly. We need to divide tasks. I will handle structural logic. You, Kale, focus on energy alignment. Kale nodded. He approached the hologram, concentrating. The energy hummed in response to his thoughts. He realized that human intuition could complement Liana's precision. Together they adjusted patterns, realigned flows, and solved each section step by step. Minutes passed, but it felt like hours. Sweat ran down Cale's forehead. Yet each time he completed a section, he felt a surge of pride. Liana's confidence never wavered. Together, they worked in perfect rhythm. Finally, the projection stabilized. The complex structure held perfectly. Korath's voice echoed. "You have succeeded. Human and Xylan cooperation demonstrates potential. You are worthy of recognition." Kyle exhaled, exhausted but triumphant. Liana smiled at him. "We did it," she said. Together, Korath extended an arm toward them. "Your species has much to offer. Continue with courage and honesty. The universe rewards those who embrace both." Kale felt a warmth in his chest. This was more than survival or recognition. It was proof that humanity's strength lay not only in technology or numbers but in truth, courage, and connection. As they returned to their ship, Kale glanced at Liana. "I never imagined humans could achieve this among the stars." Liana shook her head. "It is not about the species alone. It is about the choices we make, the courage we show, and the honesty we carry. That is what matters." Kale nodded, feeling a new sense of purpose. The universe was vast, dangerous, and full of wonders. Yet, with honesty, courage, and allies like Liana, he knew humanity could shine brighter than any star. And as their ship moved forward into the unknown, Kale realized that their journey had only just begun. Challenges would come, dangers would rise, but together, they could face anything. For the first time, he truly believed that humans could not only survive among the stars but thrive, and that connection and truth could shape destinies in ways no technology ever could. The stars stretched endlessly before Kale's ship as it cruised through deep space. After their encounter with Korath and the Zenari Collective, the crew was filled with a new energy. Kale stood on the observation deck, staring at the glowing nebulae, feeling a mix of excitement and responsibility. Humanity had proven itself capable among the stars, but the universe still held unknown dangers. Liana appeared beside him, her silver eyes reflecting the colors of distant suns. "You are restless," she said softly. Kyle shook his head. "I am not restless. I am ready for whatever comes next. We have faced storms, unknown civilizations, and complex challenges. I feel like we can take on anything together." Liana smiled faintly. "You have grown. Your courage and honesty have brought us this far. But the final test may not be a challenge of skill alone. It may test our hearts." Before Kale could respond, the ship's alarms blared. The crew rushed to their stations. On the monitor, a massive energy wave approached. It was a cosmic phenomenon unlike any they had seen. A swirling vortex of light and force. Liana quickly analyzed the readings. "This is a plasma storm from the core of the nebula," she explained. "It could destroy the ship in minutes if we do not act carefully." Kyle's heart raced. He had faced storms before, but nothing of this magnitude. He glanced at Liana. "What do we do?" Liana's expression was calm, precise. "We use everything we have learned. Shield's energy alignment and human intuition. We face it together." Kyle nodded, feeling a surge of determination. "Let's do this." The ship entered the storm, the energy pressing against its hull like a living force. Alarms screamed, lights flickered, and the crew fought to maintain control. Kyle worked at the energy console, following Liana's instructions. Her focus was unwavering. Every adjustment she gave was precise, every command calm. "Align the secondary shields to the starboard energy nodes," she ordered. Kale's fingers moved quickly, adjusting the controls. He felt the energy of the storm respond to his movements. Each pulse of light threatened to overwhelm the ship, but together, he and Liana balanced the forces. The storm intensified, and Kale felt a wave of fear. The crew looked to him for guidance. He took a deep breath and remembered Korath's words. Courage and honesty matter more than strength alone. He trusted Liana, trusted his own instincts, and spoke calmly to the crew. "Stay focused. Follow our instructions. We will get through this." The energy nodes glowed as Kale synchronized the ship's systems. Liana adjusted the shield harmonics, her hands moving with fluid precision. Slowly, they began to stabilize the vessel. The storm raged around them, but Kale felt a strange clarity. Fear was present, but it was no longer paralyzing. Courage had replaced it, fueled by trust and unity. He worked faster, thinking not only with logic but with his heart. Minutes passed like hours, but finally the storm began to subside. The swirling plasma parted, leaving the ship floating in calm, glowing space. The crew exhaled in relief. Cale leaned back, exhausted but triumphant. Liana placed a hand on his shoulder. "We made it," she said. "Together we succeeded where few could." Kyle smiled, feeling a warmth he had never known. It wasn't just skill. It was trust. And courage and honesty, Liana nodded. "Yes, that is the strength of your species. You are not only resilient, you are capable of connection, of bravery beyond fear. That is why you survive and why humanity can thrive among the stars." Kyle looked out at the vast universe. He realized that survival was not the goal. True strength came from the choices one made, the honesty one carried, and the bonds one formed. Humanity had shown that it could rise to challenges no one else could, and that truth and courage could shine brighter than any weapon or technology. Suddenly, the ship's sensors picked up another signal, smaller than the storm, but purposeful. Liana studied it. "It is a distress signal," she said. "Another ship trapped by the storm. They may not survive if we do not help." Cale felt a surge of determination. "Then we help them. We can't leave anyone behind." Liana smiled. "That is the human spirit I admire. Let's act." Together they maneuvered the ship toward the trapped vessel. Cale worked at the energy nodes, boosting shields and adjusting power flows. Liana guided the approach, her calm precision keeping them steady. The trapped ship was battered but intact. With careful coordination, they drew it out of the plasma storm. The crew of the trapped vessel looked at them in awe. Kyle realized that their actions had not only saved lives but demonstrated humanity's courage and ingenuity to others in the galaxy. Liana turned to him. "You see, Cale? Humanity's greatest strength is not in what it builds, but in what it chooses to do. Courage, honesty, and connection define your species." Cale smiled, feeling pride and hope. "Then we are ready for anything. With you by my side, we can face the universe." Liana nodded, her eyes reflecting the stars. "Yes, together we will explore, protect, and grow. And perhaps one day others will see what you have learned and follow your example." The ships moved forward, leaving the storm behind. Cale looked at Liana, the bond between them stronger than ever. Words had started it simple and honest, and now actions had carried it across the stars. Humanity had proven itself not just capable, but worthy of the galaxy. As the stars stretched endlessly before them, Cale understood the truth of Liana's words. The universe was vast, full of danger and wonder, but humanity could thrive because it dared to speak honestly, to act courageously, and to connect deeply. And with Liana by his side, he knew that the journey had only just begun. Together they would face every challenge, discover every mystery, and show the universe that humans were not just survivors. They were a force to be reckoned with. Shining brightly among the stars, the ship sailed onward, and Cale felt a sense of purpose that no fear could shake. Humanity's story among the stars had just begun, and he would be part of it, honest and brave, ready to face every new horizon with courage and hope. The universe waited, and Cale knew that humanity was ready.